A family is grieving an unimaginable loss after that career criminal with a record stretching back more than 25 years has been charged with killing a 12-year-old boy in the Bronx who was the son of a retired NYPD officer. Jacob Freytes had simply ridden his bike down to the bodega, down to the local store, when gunfire erupted during a dispute. And his family is remembering the boy that they loved while calling for justice. His sister, Angelica Coriano, joins us alongside Jacob's mother, Migdalia Martinez. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining us. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Migdalia, I'll start with you. Tell us what happened on that day in the Bronx.
Well, early that day, I went to work, but before I went to work, I asked him to make sure he walked the dog, and in which he asked me, can he do it later? And I told him, just make sure you do. You always do things later. And I gave him a kiss, and I walked out, and we always do a little dolphin kiss. And I walked out and went to work, and around 5 o'clock they called me and said that he had gotten shot. And all I could do was try to think of different ways to get here faster, whether it was a train or a cab. So I figured the train would be better. I got on the train and then couldn't call anybody, so then I got on the cab, and when I got there, I just seen my boy gone.
Angelica, when you look at this guy who's responsible or allegedly responsible, he's 45 years old. He was arrested 7 times previously for criminal possession of a forged instrument, menacing, criminal contempt, possession of stolen property, marijuana possession, drunk driving, and drug possession. And then he has these current charges now. Who do you blame for this? Why was this guy out on the streets?
I can't answer that. I'm not part of the government system that allowed for him to be on the street. I'm a victim of the circumstances that allowed for him to be out here, to be able to take my brother's life. You would have to ask the government and or the mayor for that.
Yeah, it just seems so preventable. Migdalia, I know you said criminals feel more safe now than ever. Are you angry?
Very.
Explain that.
They've taken so many different laws just to make sure that everyone gets along with the officers so much better. That they took off stop and frisk. They took out, I remember at some point there were programs like when the cadets have to, have internship to have a certain amount of hours, they would have them walk around the neighborhood and stuff like that, and just with so much stuff that been happening with some corrupt officers, because not all officers are the same, and I get it, but because of that they cut their pay, which means there's less people that want to be cops. They stop no bail for misdemeanors. It's just so much that they allow that at this point it's just safer more for the criminals than it is for hardworking people.
Yeah, I know you know firsthand because Jacob's dad's a retired NYPD detective sergeant. Y'all are pushing for Jacob's Law. Angelica, will you tell me what this is?
Jacob's Law will allow for it, there to be no in-between whether somebody goes to jail or not for taking a child's life recklessly. It'll allow for criminals to go straight to jail for prison instead of the family having to go to court continuously hoping and wondering if they're going to get the justice that they deserve for the child that they lost. And we went to court and, found out all the charges that he'd be receiving, which is great, but we still have to sit with the worry whether he'll face all the time that is necessary enough to keep him where he needs to be. And that type of uncertainty is very uncomfortable for us as a family, knowing that we'll never see our child again.
Right. I mean, he's held at Rikers Island. He does face up to life in prison if convicted. And I know Jacob's Law would automatically give life sentences to anyone who takes the life of a child. Migdalia, tell me, please, about your precious son. I mean, we can all relate to this if we have children. My daughter says that all the time. Mom, can I do it in a minute? You know, he didn't want to walk the dog at that moment. And he just went down to the bodega to get a ball. We can all relate to that story. Tell us about Jacob.
He was a good kid, so polite. There wasn't a person out here that if he saw you with 2 bags, if you were using both hands, he made sure to alleviate you. And there wasn't an old woman he didn't help with bags or across the street. There wasn't a person that if he caught your eye, he made sure to tell you hi. He made sure to, you know, make his presence known. He was a funny, quirky kid. He loved his friends. He loved his PlayStation. He loved his brothers and his sisters. He once told me his dad was his best friend.
Oh. I read
and
a lot of the tributes. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
I read some of the tributes in the newspapers here locally, and everyone was saying the kindest things. A lot of the neighbors, the older ladies in your neighborhood, were saying that he always helped cross the street or help with their groceries. I'm really sorry for your loss, but I do believe he's with Jesus, and you'll see him again. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Jacob's Law.
Jacob's
Please.
Law. Yes, very important. Jacob was only 12 years old when he was senselessly murdered trying to go buy a ball at the bodega. May he rest in peace.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.